What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's not that good news, is it? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Hey, on more positive notes, though, turns out on my microphone, I actually have to press the little button that turns it on. So if you're on TikTok, by the way, the sound quality, and if you give me a little thumbs up in the chat, that'd be great. The sound quality should actually be way better than you've been listening to for the last 2 nights, because I realized that I actually didn't turn this on. So now I can see there's a little green light on my phone, there's a little green light on here, and we're turned on. So hopefully now you, hopefully you got some nice audio quality coming through there on TikTok. And likewise, obviously here on YouTube, you got the absolute sure mic here getting bullish. Thanks, Connor. BitsBlaze, what's going on? So yeah, pretty old rough day in the market. I was enjoying myself with my kids last few days of the summer holidays. And yeah, you guys were crashing the market. I mean, what the hell? But anyway, this could be opportunity and it could be over. There are 2 different camps that are absolutely trying to press their agenda. One camp believes the market's done, that cycle topped at 124. Others are in the world that we are going way higher. Now, the question is, which one is going to be true? And at some point, I am sure that one side will flip the other way. And equally, I imagine they'll vice versa flip back and forth, right? Okay, we'll sort of talk about what that could look like. We'll talk about key bits of data you guys need to be aware of. So things like inflation data. We'll talk about what some big moves in the market that you may not know about. We'll talk about that as well. We're going to get into all of it and everything else. It's going to be pretty crazy tonight. So do me a favor, as always, when you're coming in on YouTube, hit that thumbs up at the bottom of the screen. Don't forget, as always, to subscribe. And if you're here on TikTok, we thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, just like I'm doing there, just tapping that screen does help out the old algorithm, lets people know that we are here as well. So we'd appreciate it. And then let's say hello to a few people. So Selmo coming in with the icons. I like it. Crypto got a beat down. Good to see you as well. 37, bullish on you. Magic Craig. Hey, 37, did you buy Vortex? I'm curious because you actually liked my subscriber-only videos that are $3 a month on TikTok. I'm curious if you did or not, because if you did, then well done. Anyway, Foz, good to see you. Welcome to you, Mr. Magic Craig, Tim Shea, Crypto's in the building. Swamp's here, Curtis is here as well. Welcome, Obi Joe in the house. Chipper, good to see you. Obi says, I reckon 2-bit needs to start putting up a St. George's cross all over his stream. Okay. RPM's here. Good to see you, man. Welcome as always. Selmo, the legend. Swamp's here. Good to see you, Swamp. Fairgrounds in the building. Joe Bro said smashed it twice. Oh, come on, bro. You might as well hit the downtrend. What's going on to you? Welcome as always. I appreciate everybody. And BitUniX in the building. And then shout out to all the crew turning in on TikTok as well. So many of you jumping in. We appreciate you guys as well, especially those that are subscribed. And yeah, bullish on you guys. Anyway, I wanted to make an official stance. I want to make a statement right now. And I want to give you my view as to exactly what I'm doing in this current downtrend. And I know some people are definitely going to be freaked out. Here it is. I'm just not selling, baby. I'm not selling. That's my opinion. I'm not saying this financial advice. I'm not saying that this is the way forward. I'm saying with what I'm doing is this. I'm not freaking selling anything, all right? I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to my guns because I think we're going way higher. I almost feel like the market is poised to go higher. And especially like we always say, if you understand why the market's dipping, then it makes it feel a lot better. But 2023, Bitcoin crashed to 16K. 2025, Bitcoin crashed to 108. Soon, Bitcoin crashes to 580K, if you believe that. Right now, then, shout out to you. But I guess, look, the sentiment is, if you believe the market is done, pack your bags and off you go. If you don't, then stick around because we've definitely got way more. Recommendations to buy in this dip. Well, let's take a look at the charts and get a view. I talked about this yesterday, actually. If you remember, I was talking about this, saying, look, I've got some capital. I think the market may push down a little bit more. I'm going to wait and see. And I actually advised a number of people last night to not buy in. I was like, hey, just wait. Let's just see what happens. Data's coming out tomorrow, albeit I didn't think it was going to be the craziest. And it isn't. Lots of people are going to have you believe that PCE data was the bad news, and it isn't. It's something else. And this is kind of therefore when we get to a world of going, is this the end? Are we going further? Could we see further deep corrections? And my short-term answer right now is yes. I think we could see a little bit further down, and we'll talk about why that is. And again, more importantly, yeah, I got 20 million Pepe for $200. Like, what? Anyway, let's talk about it. So here we go. Look at this chart. Interesting as we start to come down. Now, as I talked about yesterday, on these couple of these indicators I have, do you guys want to... Oh, hold on a minute, TikTok. I'm going to get you covered tonight. Watch this. Flip. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. That one. Mirror. There we go. Boom. You guys have got it. Awesome. There we go. So let's talk a little bit about the charts. Let's talk a little bit about what we can see and maybe what's playing out in front of us. And I think it's important to reference this. So Bitcoin took a big old correction, but it's actually bigger and more noticeable than we think. So here was the peak that came in. This was kind of euphoric. We're all going to the freaking moon. It's all pretty bullish. We then get a lower high, which again is, you know, not particularly great. And then obviously the lower low that comes in as well. So you could argue right now we are very much in this down trend. This is not good news. We are definitely bearish on the cycle top coming down. Now, generally speaking, we look to get a 45-degree angle on this kind of trend. These are very much more favorable to where we are. However, the argument right now is this is a aggressive downtrend. Okay, so let's understand why. Let's try and dial in some macro. A couple of things to think about. We severely lost the 50-day exponential moving average. We lost the 100-day exponential moving average. These are obviously key levels that we want to look at. And then obviously the 200. We could come to 104. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen overnight, but people still believe we're going to load in 100K. So 104 is kind of the next big point. However, there's a couple of key levels that you probably want to think about. We're at run right now. 108 is going to be important. If we hold 108, we might be okay. 106 may be where you might want to look at some price targets if you think the market could bounce off that 106 range. I think we could go even lower than that. And I was messing around with some Fibonacci's to try and get a little bit of a sentiment as to where we really could go. And I think when you start to price in some pretty heavy corrections, you get into these kind of this sort of range potentially as a real bear case heading down to this kind of $97,000 line. So, you know, this is kind of some of the key things I would be thinking about. Now, let's think about where this move came in from, okay? So all the way back here, look, Sunday the 20th of April, you could argue was a relatively okay move in the grand scheme of things. Well, what does that then look like? If we then start to place this Fibonacci on here, and you start to look at where this move, you know, kind of started basically all the way back down here, you start to get some pretty interesting price targets when you start to lay out in the fib on here. So again, look at this. These are going to be some important levels as we come down. You can see where it respected the level here. You can see where clearly it respected the level here on this Fibonacci. It tells us we're there or thereabouts on this move. But look at this. The 618 at 105. That's your first price target that we're probably looking at to go and retest right now. We then have that line we drew that is a short term, a weak resistance line on around 108. If we were to see this come lower, look at that. 100,164. Call it 100Ks at the 0.5 Fibonacci. This is important to think about. Lower, 382 at 94K. That could be the super low. I don't necessarily think we get this low, by the way. I know some people call it 93K, which would, again, be pretty low under the 382. I am not sure. If we're going to fill that CME gap, fine, whatever. Like, okay, I'm not going to stress it. But for me, this is the next big one. 105, 695, the 618 Fibonacci. Are we going to hold? Or are we going to go lower than that? It's important. So we've lost all of these support ranges. If we were to continue to come down, you're also then looking at the range of the 200 exponential moving average, which could give us that bounce off there. Now, a couple of things to note here, though, by the way. A couple of things to note. Whatever we see in this downtrend, if you're in a world of going, yep, I think the market's over, I'm out, I finished, it's an absolute load of nonsense, and I wish I'd never bought into this crypto, and as WTF says it's a complete scam, then you probably don't want to look at the rest of this chart. So again, this kind of 2 bits at the bottom here, get it? 2 bits? Ooh. These couple of bits at the bottom that I'm talking about here. So this top line here, just an example, just give you a bit of a view, by the way, ultimately takes in the RSI, the MACD, and it expedites it as a one-trick pony. So what we can see here on the daily candle is actually we're very bearish. So we are expecting further downside. Likewise at the bottom here, where this takes a lot of the moving average data that we then kind of compile along with money flow and a couple of other bits and pieces, telling us yet again that we are very much bearish on this. So, you know, the reality here is that everything right now is telling us that we are going to go lower than where we are. Now, here's the question you have to ask yourself at this point. Well, is this bad news? It is bad news. It could be bad news. The markets could be freaking over. Many people want you to believe that that's the case. Again, sometimes, though, you have to kind of check a chill pill, and you might be freaking out. You might think, oh, my God, 2 bit. Why did I not sell at the top? I should have done it. I think we're going to go to 0, and, you know, I mean, all that kind of nonsense, right? The answer is, well, maybe we could. The macro tells us that that's not simply the case, right? The macro tells us that's not simply the case. And there are people that are way more advanced in these markets, way more bullish on these markets, have been buying these markets for way longer than probably most of us have been alive, are definitely in a place of actually we're going significantly higher. Just as a quick sidestep, look at this. We once again saw inflows into ETFs, market dumps, institutions buy. Surprise, surprise. Probably buying one of the bigger days we've seen this week. Important to think about as we walk through. BlackRock coming again and 621 into Fidelity, as well as ARK21, which, by the way, bought into Tom Lee's Ethereum treasury company. Macro tells a different story to what is on the short-term price action. And remember, the reality here is you could be super bearish on the daily. You can be even more bearish on the 12-hour. Okay, are we bearish on the weekly candles? Probably not. Are we bearish on the monthly candles? No. All right. So I guess that's kind of where I get to. This is, in my opinion, just another move down. I want to break down exactly why and some of the key things that I think is happening, because they're going to give us an indication as to where the market's going to go after this. So, by the way, if you're just coming in, welcome to the channel. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button if you're brand new here on YouTube, and feel free to ask any questions. Also, shout out to my TikTok fam. Don't forget, tap that screen for me. That would be really appreciative. As always, you guys are absolutely crushing it. Mohammed said, I'm right. I knew what was happening, and I see alt season end of September, early October. I mean, when you argue that right now the Bitcoin dump is bigger than the Ethereum dump, you kind of go, I think alt season's fine. I think alt season's fine. Yeah, I do research. People were saying alt season later, alt season, and I said, no, I was right. I mean, it depends what you're measuring against. If you're saying, well, actually the top altcoins aren't moving more than Bitcoin, you'd argue they're dumping less in some cases. Look at this. BNB down 1.8. You've got things like Cardano 4.7. I'm still in the world where I think alt season's fine, but I can see that people's portfolios will have definitely taken a significant hit today. But yeah, Calamari, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to you. Rob says, I'll give 1,000 likes on TikTok. Hey, Shoesmith. Ah, is that what your missus is called? Shout out to Shoesmith. Like it. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to you. Nice being on TikTok. Yeah, how's the audio as well? Do you think we'll go back up and come back down for a final tap? I mean, who knows? I mean, loads of people call. They go, oh, nope, we're going to dump before we pump. At some point, laws of averages say you're probably going to be right with that number. So anyway, right. The rest of the altcoins, I mean, look, this is my point on Ethereum as an example, and TikTok, go and have another look, by the way. This is my point on Ethereum right now, and I guess to a degree where I believe we're altcoin season's fine. Look at this. I haven't touched this chart. It's nothing we've done. Look at this. Ethereum perfectly retesting this mid-range that we had in here, 4.346. That's probably what we need to hold. But look at that. That is a perfect retest of exactly where we've seen. And more importantly, don't forget, look how high we are above the 50-day exponential moving average. Now, you could say, well, 2-bit, what about the moving average? Well, let's put some of those in and have a look. Let's put in the like 50-day moving average or something like that. That'll be a good one. And the 200. Oh, I can't do it. Oh my God, I need to get. All right, ignore me. I need to get a higher plan. But you know, you could argue with Ethereum right now. That's holding up pretty well and is at 3.95% down, which again is fine compared to where BTC is going. Now, the rest of the altcoins are having, unfortunately, a pretty aggressive dip. But look at Solana holding up around this probably top range around 200. Cardano, like we said, around 81 cents. XRP 281. Painful. Talked about this yesterday in my update video. And we talked about it on the live stream. This is probably bad news for XRP. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We could see 276. Maybe if the market pushes down even harder, you could argue we're probably going to go and retest this 200 exponential moving average. Not crazy, but 250 could be an interesting long trade if you're going to take that. Again, worthwhile thinking about. You've got things like Sui, Casper, Zebek, Aerodrome down 7, all having a pretty bad day. No surprise, Kronos taking a big hit after that, big pump yesterday. And again, what you're doing here is people liquidating their profits off Crow and then probably going into something else. Chainlink, something similar, breaking down below this range on there. So you're definitely seeing a bit of capitulation in the market. Pyth down, no surprise, albeit very much up on the day. Bonk, the only one green. Let's go, Bonk. Make it happen, baby. And then, yeah, everything else. Gold looks still up a little bit. So, gold's still managing to print pretty well. FOMO, what's going on in the market? Won't do nothing until Tuesday. What happens on Tuesday? Pre-holiday sell off the Bitcoin. I mean, I know some people have talked about that. Labor Day and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, look, we'll see. We'll see. So I guess that's what is happening in the market. Let's break down why that's happening in the market. Because I think it's important we reference and understand where we are to give us an idea as to how we go forward. Now, the reality is, look at this short-term holder, 𝗦𝗲𝗿𝗰𝗵𝗲𝗀 basically saying that Bitcoin is hugely oversold. Think about this. We're seeing big push down in the market while institutions continue to buy. Tells us that actually more money is coming. BTC has entered the oversold zone and historically been a strong buy signal. The MVRV oscillator shows that short-term holders are capitulating, often marking the bottom. If support holds, this could set the stage for a powerful recovery as smart money steps back in. No surprise we're seeing institutional buying coming back in as well. To do a poll, do you actually believe that, Curse? What's the thing? XRP to 1,000 end of the year, nothing to do with cycles or it's all good here. Man, I mean, I hope so. JP Morgan even backed if they have historically spoken negative. Yeah, exactly. JP Morgan said Bitcoin is undervalued versus gold, which is kind of wild to think about. When's the market top? Need a poll? I mean, I can do a poll. It's just a bit, I mean, I don't even know how that is like a question though. I mean, we can do one. Start a poll. Okay, I tell you what, we can do this. Let's do this. When does the market top? And we'll say October, December. December. I'll put Jan to, well, yeah, let's do Jan 26, March. Do we think it goes past March? I don't think it goes past March 26. If it's later, then vote March 26. There we go. XRP's hurting me right now. Yeah, look, I think altcoins in general are hurting everybody. Also have an option of it, already has. I mean, that's true. Yeah, there was huge option expiries today as well. So again, when you start to look at the crypto market, understand where stocks were. S&P down 0.6, Nasdaq down, Nasdaq was down 0.56. The Russell down 0.5. So look, the reality is, and actually Asia did sell off a little bit last night. I was watching it before I went to bed. Asia did sell off. But again, if you believe the market's going higher, this is a great opportunity, by the way. Great opportunity. Tiffy does some pole dance on TikTok. Hey, Chris says, Tim says October 26th. Holy shit, that'd be pretty wild. If it's later than March 26th, just pick March 26th. So yeah. I'm here driving to listen. What's going on, Craig? Good to see you, man. When's BTC low short term? Oh, what's the BTC low? We just talked about it right at the very start of the stream. We could see 105, what did we say? 105.6 or something, I think, is a potential next target that we're looking for some support. However, like we said, Bitcoin oversold. Look out. We could see this lower retest of some of this lower range. However, definitely in a world of selling off. Now, something else to be mindful of as well. Look at this. Bitcoin whale who offloaded 24,000 Bitcoin last week is on the move, getting ready to dump another 24,500 Bitcoin. Prepare for turbulence. This is yet another clear signal of the start of the brutal Bitcoin bear market. Whales are abandoning ship. Don't get caught holding the bag. You can't say the same whale and then quantify it by saying whales, because it's simply not true. However, there is clearly some pretty heavy selling from pretty big holders right now. You've got to understand, though, that this, I think, is an exchange, by the way. And I'm going to show you something in a minute that we broke on the channel a while back. And I think this allows you to get some context in it. By the way, I'm not saying for a second here that I am super macro bullish, that I'd take everyone's risk on my shoulders and be like, hey, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to the freaking moon. You just have to hold your bags. The reality is that you have to look at some macro side of things, but understand the game you choose to play is not fair. And I think that's a good analogy as to where we are. So albeit, yes, we're seeing, you know, these big whales. And if you don't believe me, by the way, that exchanges liquidate positions, like all you have to do is look at what's in it for them. And let me show you something here, right? We're going to sort of dial into this. And you guys can see this as well, TikTok. What happened to the alt season, bro? It's still here, Adam. We've just been talking about it. Don't worry about it. Right, let me show you something here. So again, here is Wintermute. Now, Wintermute is famous for basically being one of the biggest liquidity providers. And by the way, liquidity providers for many of the larger cryptocurrency exchanges, namely people like Binance and Coinbase. Here is a lot of the transactions. By the way, these are transactions above $10 million, okay? So these aren't transactions that are particularly about, okay? So they are making sure that they are very much dialed in. Now, obviously, these go back, these go back, these go back. We can actually go a little bit higher as well, by the way. Let's go to $100 million. So again, if you were thinking, is there, you know, stuff going on that maybe shouldn't have been going on? Look at this. Wintermute deposit into crypto.com for $160 million at the start of today. Okay, so hold on a minute. So crypto.com needed 160 million USDC, right? That's what they needed. Okay, so you're like, oh, well, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? And then that sort of then filters out into the rest of the market as we then start to see some pretty aggressive dumping and pretty aggressive pushing down in the market as it continues. Again, look at this. You've got loads of Ethereum starting now to flow into Binance. You've also got, look at this as an example, just to kind of give you a view. Look at all this USDC, by the way. Wintermute. They are offloading hundreds of millions of dollars worth of USDC to exchanges. Now, you could say, well, 2bit, that's obvious. People are selling their Bitcoin. They need USDC. That's obvious. No. People sold their Bitcoin. This is so that they can then offload a ton of stablecoin as people FOMO back into the market. Look at this. You can go back as long as you want. You can go back 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Look at this. Massive amounts of BTC going to random wallets. Massive amounts of BTC heading to Binance. Ethereum heading to Binance. All dumping the market like a set of crazy people. And this is exactly what they do. And again, this is kind of the important part here, by the way. I understand the game is simply not fair. 2bit Crypto starts following me. Don't fall for it, guys. Yeah, I will never DM anyone. Trust me, if you ever need to get me, find our free Discord. Jump in our free Discord, definitely worth it. And DM me in there. I'm the guy that's got a red name because I'm the owner of the Discord. Dead simple, right? Or find me on X, the verified account over there. Hopefully we'll get verified near at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but anyway. Why is that so people see my other account, but this one is fine? Okay, good. Anyway. Apply plugin for XDC next chain. Nice, I like it. October. Yeah, well, that's it. Just blocked loads of people, Lauren, didn't you? Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Discord's another one as well, by the way. There's loads of people that are trying to pretend to be me on Discord, so be mindful. So this kind of stuff I'm talking about right now, when you see huge exchanges offloading massive amounts of cryptocurrency and then not 12 hours later are offloading are then accumulating huge amounts of stablecoin, you have to kind of understand why. And you have to understand that this basically creates the nervousness in the market. It creates liquidity pressure, which therefore dumps the market. And this is kind of really obvious. As you've got Binance starting to ship loads of cash around, it starts to push the price down. Wintermute get absolutely inundated with a ton of cryptocurrency. The price comes down, all aggregated through a number of exchanges. They dump the market and they liquidate everyone for an absolute freaking fortune. And again, all you have to do is look at how much they're making from these liquidations to understand why they were going to do it. If you had all of the cryptocurrency in the world, pretty much, and you were just like, yeah, who cares? I'm going to just absolutely wreck this market. Well, then you can. And ultimately, that's what happens. Look at this. Today, Binance, 82.67% of every single trade that was liquidated was a long trade on Binance. It's pretty crazy if you ask me. And then the total number, 439. Now, here's why I'm optimistic about where we are. I'm probably a little bit more bullish as to maybe some other people are, because you could argue and say, well, it's a pretty big push down. We've done what, 4%? Well, I've seen 4% liquidate nearly $1 billion of Bitcoin. I've seen 4% liquidate hundreds of millions of dollars, 7, 8, 900 million, right? JJ, what's going on, buddy? The reality is this push down's liquidated $440 million. Okay, fine, cool. I'm not worried about that. So this kind of gives you an idea as to what's going on. And again, lots of people are in the world now where, again, this is just kind of happening. Now, don't forget, we also talked about this the other day, which is worth noting, which is obviously the dip in the M2 as this then starts to play out. And then we start the grind back up. As you can see here, look, before we get into kind of October, where we're going to see a big spike in M2 and then things start to ease off a little bit. So, you know, this is kind of playing out pretty damn obvious. And then hopefully we'll probably, you know, this is kind of where I think we could see some short sellers and some bears get wrecked. All these people are like, get out of the market. We're going to freaking zero. I'm in stablecoin, blah, 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 blah. We could definitely start to push in. And then we get the boom shankalanka rate cut coming in, which is like, what, September the 13th or something, I think it is. Could signal a nice little move here. So worth noting as that kind of walks through, but definitely a world of pain today, unfortunately. And I think there could be a little bit more coming in. The good news, though, Bitcoin was $54,000 less than a year ago. Now it's crashed to double the price. People still tell me that they aren't happy with the returns daily. Are you freaking serious? Important to think about. Come on, Bitcoin, go back to 80K. Man, you are a crazy person. Get out of here. I'm kidding. I don't think he actually believes that Holmes. What's that? Holmes is also a true statement. Okay, you guys are talking about something else. Hard to keep up with the chat. A zero is not a sleeping giant. The team's marketing absolutely stinks. I don't even know what that is. Don't even know what it is, but yeah. I love Altura crypto. Yeah, Josh, you messaged me about that. I feel like you did. Alts are dead. Again, back to June, July levels in many cases. Are they? Are you guys seeing something I'm not here? Ethereum's at 4.3. In fact, let's go to the monthly chart. The monthly chart is going to be a bit more obvious. So Ethereum in July topped at 3,934. So Ethereum is currently $400 more than it was at the very highest point of July. It closed at 3,727. So right now, ETH is nearly 20% higher than it was in July. And in June, just as an example, it is like way higher. In June, right now, we are 50% higher. Solana is above that. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say most altcoins are definitely higher than they were at the close, all right? Maybe not the ultra wicks that we saw, but the close of the last and both previous months, actually. So, again, we're at 3.69 down on ETH, BTC at 4%. All right, fine. Okay, important to reference here. XRP is dipping again. Yeah, that's true. Just true. That's true. Yeah, just true. JJ knows what's up. What's up, JJ? Good to see you, man. Aero is up. Is it? Aerodrome Finance is that? It's definitely not up. Definitely not up. Where the hell is it? I don't even know where it is. Aerodrome. There you are. It's at 112, bro. It's like 7% down. It's taking an absolute beating today. Fine though. Earn those 19% staking rewards. Love it. Love it. Right. Let's continue on. Let's get into some absolute nuts and bolts of what's going on. So, US core PCE index reaches a 2.9 July 2025. Davo in the building. Davo, please tell me you watched the subscriber only video that I posted yesterday. Please tell me you watched that, bro. The 735k project that now is sat at 2.34 million. I'm not saying financial advice, baby, but holy shit, that was a good call. Anyway. I'm pissed off with Veracity cryptocurrency because it has so hard to pass $1.4 million, cap 15 million bars. It's like, yeah, I know. I think a lot of coins are like that at the minute, though. I think a lot of coins are, unfortunately, just in that world. What do you think ETH will be up? Hold on, Kim. What's that say? When do you think ETH will be up? I mean, look, ETH is up. ETH's up. Don't forget, by the way, a lot of people are going to try and freak you out with staking. I'm going to talk about it a little bit in a minute, but loads of people are trying to freak loads of people out with staking as well. The XRP army is strong. What's going on, Selma? Obi says, I only watched 2 streams about crypto. Hopefully one of them is mine, bro. So, look at this. The US Bureau of Economic Analysis reported July 2025 core PCE price index rose 2.9 year on year, the highest since February 2025. Doesn't even count that, really. You're like, oh, it's the highest since the start of this year. All right, well, that's fine. That's fine. Now, what's important to reference here, though, and again, what I always like with some of this stuff is they're happy to kind of go, oh, this is what happened. This is what came in. But no one really breaks down why and what. Like, it's such a bad narrative. So, for example, if you take a look at here, look, 2.6 is July, June 2.6, May 2.4, April 2.2. Okay, it's going up, fine. It's not going up crazy though. And here's the percentage change that we've seen over the course of the last few months. Now, you guys can't see it, so I'll be back in just a second, TikTok. Where is the money coming from though? And this is where people just freak out for no reason and kind of completely lose their minds as to what drives your pockets, right? What costs you money? And here we go. The changes in monthly consumer spending in July, consumer spending increased by 108.9 billion. People spent more freaking money. You can see there, look, goods and services. So motor vehicles and parts. Now, what you can see here is the impact of tariffs. So you can definitely see that 34.9% increase in motor vehicles and parts. They're having to pay more versus things like gasoline, other energy, which we know have got more favorable tariffs on. So you can see this on the downtrend at the bottom end there. So core PCE is pretty flat. You know, I know people have you believe that it's like a disaster, but it just really isn't. And then you can go into a few little bit more in terms of revisions to personal income, etc. I don't necessarily think it's crazy, but look at this. Private wages and salaries increased 77.5 billion. This is good news, right? This is good news. Reflecting the increases of 77.4 billion in services, producing industries, and 0.2 billion in goods producing industry. Government wages and salaries increased by 5.1 billion. Okay, fine. Supplements to wages and salaries increased 14.3 billion, mainly from employer contributions for employee pensions and insurance funds. Okay, so if you then sit in the world of saying, well, tariffs are hugely affecting, you know, certain areas like motor vehicles and manufacturing, the reality is that the actual business owners are putting more money into those. So not, you know, what you've got there is aligned to kind of Jerome Powell's statement on it, which is we have to balance inflation, but hold the jobs market. That's pretty much what that data has done. Market's gone, oh my God, it's literally another disaster. You know, inflation's out of control. The problem you've got with things like jobs holding steady while inflation sits there is actually Jerome Powell could say, maybe we don't need to cut rates. And the market's gone, holy, that might actually be a thing. Like Jezza might come in and go, yeah, I know I was pretty bullish at Jackson Hole, but yeah, maybe not. Now, the market hasn't reacted too much in terms of what the CME Fed Watch looks like. Still at 87. That's down 0.5%, but nothing crazy. So the reality is that it's just not a big deal. And I said that. The big ones to watch out for are going to be CPI data, which we get in about 3 weeks, and PPI data. That's going to give us probably more of an indication of where the market's going to go. Many people believe October is going to be the peak. See, you aligned to where I think. I hope we're all wrong, by the way. Just saying. Devo, thank you. I appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Crypto Glenn's in the house. Although I can't like do your comment, which is kind of frustrating me. I hate when TikTok does this. Crypto Glenn says, you said people spending more money. Hold on a minute, man. It's because I'm wearing a white. Hold on. This is like the weirdest thing. So I need to see what it says. Hold on. Where do I need to do it there? You said people spending more money. Guess what's not coming? Rate cuts. I mean, yeah. The reality is that if you have a strong economy, you got to understand what rate cuts are about. What we need to see, by the way, is money printing. If you really want to see craziness, you really want to see like markets going absolutely wild, money printing is what's going to drive it. M2 skyrocketing will drive prices in the risk assets because people have more money to spend. If you can leverage debt at 0% interest, you're going to go crazy on things like Bitcoin. Imagine this, right? Imagine this. You've got corporate treasury companies. You've got things like Strategy. They're all building like debt, right? They're all trading either bonds. They're issuing debt to buy more like Bitcoin, right? Okay, it's a pretty simple model. Loads of businesses do it. Why risk your own capital when you can risk the capital of a bank, etc.? That's why you get the whole banking crisis and all that kind of nonsense, right? But imagine you can lend 0%. That's where it gets freaking crazy. That's where you can get the average Joe. That's where, you know, Obi Joe can say, right, I'm going to build a business model. I'm going to go and get $100 million and I'm going to put it at 0% or 0.5% interest rate. And I'm going to go and buy Bitcoin. I'm going to start my own treasury company. Obi Joe is like, he's the super crazy maxi when it comes to, I'm just trying to think of some like crazy coin. When it comes to Pepe, and he's going to start a Pepe treasury company, and he can leverage that as 0.5% interest rate. Can you imagine that? It's crazy. So when you get to there, the reality therefore is if you've got a strong economy and you've got everything else, they could not cut rates. I think it would be a disaster if they didn't. And I think there would be a very, very, very sharp correction in the market. And I think Jezza would get yeeted, as I think many others. Don't forget, they're trying to confirm a Trump-appointed federal board, and they've yeeted Lisa Cook out. So the averages now would argue that I think it's pretty much priced in. But we'll see. We'll see, in my opinion. Not if the economy is good. No, sir, not in my opinion. What's that? What's going on? Vroomed? Top alts to buy in this dip. We'll take a look at them. This fall is only going to make bigger. Maybe. BTC dominance is still declining. Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, will someone remind me not to wear a white t-shirt when I go live on TikTok? It's really hard to see you guys, actually. It's like really hard to see the chat. There must be a way that I can like do the chat better on TikTok where I can actually see it. Anyway, right, let's keep going. So, important to think about this. Past core PC increases have correlated with heightened market volatility, especially affecting Bitcoin and Ethereum, given the sensitivity to the US economic conditions. That's exactly what we've seen, right? It's no surprise. It's no surprise. That doesn't set the, it doesn't kind of tell us that we're going higher, lower, whatever it is. You know, it is kind of what it is. Right. This kind of then plays into sort of what we were talking about here, but cryptocurrency fell to 1 away after the D- exception ended on Friday. Core inflation came in at 2.9%. So you can see like the markets are, kind of freaking out a little bit, kind of just like, oh my God, what's happened? We were definitely not expecting this. Secretly, I think most people were expecting a little bit of a correction in the market, but we've sort of talked about this, so we don't really need to go into it. And again, this is then meaning that US inflation expectation falls to 4.8 in August 2025. Okay, fine. This actually is a more positive standpoint. This lower than expected inflation figure may ease pressure on risk assets like cryptocurrency. So we have to kind of wait and see. So you kind of have this like, hey, Bits Place, what's going on? You kind of have this like aggressive PCE data that unfortunately I think people are giving a bit too much time to, but inflation still continues to come down. Now, don't forget trueflation, which is generally a view of to where the US market is a little bit more accurately, just a little bit more accurately, gets us in at around 2.15. So, not too crazy. Is above the Fed's rate of 2%, but again, we've discussed this at length as to why that probably isn't ever going to be back at that point. So good news though, Japanese giant company makes surprise Ripple purchase. Let's get it. I was talking about this before, but this is a Japanese-based company and owned by major Japanese conglomerate. And basically, they are buying huge amounts of XRP. $17 million of XRP on its way yet again to a company called 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗲𝗍. They are going big once again on XRP. This next potential race, is it Solana, is it XRP? It's all going to get pretty crazy. So, down long legs of white shirts. That's true. That's true. Hey, thanks, Bits. Love it. By the way, nearly at 10,000 likes as well. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, good news, by the way, and I think this could continue to rally XRP, albeit not in a big downtrend day like we've seen so far. And then look, finally, Ethereum could suffer 5 billion sell-off pressure as exit queue crosses 100 million Ethereum. No! Oh my God, this is, how crazy is this, right? Do you know, like some people talk about this and they don't even know what they're freaking talking about. It's like the most hilarious thing in the world. I caught a live stream. I'm not going to say who it was because I'm not that kind of guy. And they were like, oh, Ethereum, staked Ethereum. People are unstaking Ethereum like levels we've never seen before. It's all going to be crazy. This is massive bottleneck of Ethereum that's going to crash the markets. And there's like 1 million Ethereum and it's going to go down. And oh my God, what the hell? It's an absolute freaking disaster. The reality is that, well, you can't unstake all Ethereum at once. There is a queue. Now, the queue can be as big as it wants, by the way. And the queue right now is significantly high. But understand that they can't simply unstake it all at once. It has to go through the process. And ultimately, it has to go through the core Ethereum protocol to basically make sure that a maximum of 16 withdrawal address to be processed in each block. Basically, what this means is if you sort of, move it forward a little bit, I think it's about, is it about 7,200 blocks per day can be used to withdraw ETH. And basically it's like 100,000 ETH can be unstaked every single day, not freaking 1 million. So people need to chill out about that. In my opinion, time to buy XRP. I mean, it could be, it's not the worst, or certainly hasn't been affected the worst, but anyway. So yes, there is a lot of Ethereum that's been unstaked right now. A lot of Ethereum that's been unstaked. Doesn't mean everyone's going to crash the market. Doesn't mean everyone's going to start dumping Ethereum on the market. It just means that, yeah, people are unstaking Ethereum. Maybe they're going to make a decision. Maybe they're going to put it into a treasury company. Who the hell knows? But this kind of narrative that people are spinning like, oh my God, there's 1 million ETH going to hit the market. It's just not true. Chris says, King, how high does AVAX go in your mind? We talked about this overnight. Hopefully 500 plus. Hopefully. Not financial advice. I'm just saying that. But yeah, I mean, I'm bullish on AVAX. I have it staked on Coinbase, if I'm honest, but yeah, I tried to stake it with Trader Joe, but it's a pain in the ass, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think AVAX could do well. I think it could do well. It's at 23.37 as well. Down 6% is a pretty interesting one. That doesn't sound good 2-bit though. What? Unstaking Ethereum? Yeah, but this happens all the time. People unstake Ethereum. Again, it's like if someone came to you and said, right, well, you've got 1% on your savings in HSBC, but Royal Bank of Scotland is going to give you 4%. Where would you go? Like, you're just going to move it to Royal Bank of Scotland. If all you had to do was click 3 times, it was there. If you were like Goldilocks and you could just tap, not Goldilocks, who the hell am I talking about? Who's the one that taps heels and she goes home? She called Alice in Wonderland. Is that right? No, not Alice in Wonderland. Who the hell is it? Oh my God. Someone help me out here. My mind's gone totally blank. Who taps the heels and goes home? Oh, I don't know who it is. It's totally gone. Dorothy! That guy, I love the fact that guy is like in there. There was a thing the other night when I was asking about, was I asking about the US, I was asking about the Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac, the Lisa Cook thing, and then just out of nowhere, that guy's like, Lisa Cook. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're well, man. Appreciate it. I love the fact that you're just there. And it's like, oh man, my mind's gone completely blank. Just look over there. That guy's like, this is the answer. You're like, all right, cool as ice. Absolute legend. 37 said, you Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. Yeah, God. Can't believe I didn't know that. Anyway, to the point then stands that, yes, Ethereum is being unstaked. It's just not a big deal. In my opinion, by the way. In my opinion. 3 ums in 24 hours. Is that what it was? Holy shit, that's crazy. If AVAX can go to 500, how fast does something like that happen as far as amount of days does it? I mean, look, it can happen. Think about it, right? This is how you've got to understand these markets. Bear in mind, we've dumped 6% today, right? 6%. Well, okay, let's do a little bit of quick maths and work out, well, where is 500 bucks to where we currently are? So if we said AVAX to 500, as an example, right? As an example, okay? It's a 95% turn. So that's 10 days at 9%. That is 20 days at 5%. You could argue then that's 40 days at 2.5%. Well, 40 days between now, where does 40 days take us? 40 days takes us to, just an example, the 8th of October. So, you know, and bear in mind, that's at a 2.5%. 40 days. AVAX could be at $500. Just saying. Now, it needs probably an ETF. It needs treasury companies, needs mass buying. Bitcoin needs to probably rally to 130, 140, etc., etc., etc. But it can happen pretty quickly. It could take 6 months. If you think we're going to 2026, it could take even longer to get there. So, but yeah, important to think about, in my opinion. We'll keep close to what's going on with BTC. It obviously is a little bit painful here. We talked about that 10, what do we talk about next? Yeah, this 108 range we're looking at. This next range down here at like 106 is kind of where we were discussing. I think we went a little bit lower of 105, but let's just put 106 in there. That'll give us a bit of an idea as to maybe where we'll come and retest that lower range. Correct multiple times or what? Look, nothing ever goes straight up in this market. It will step up. That's how things work. Look at go and put Bitcoin on a weekly time frame. You can see it like that. Any thoughts on Ondo? Yeah, bullish is what I would say. Watch out. Tokenized treasuries. It's all going through Ondo, which inadvertently will go through Ethereum as well. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Now, many people believe that certain things in the market are being compressed. Certain things are pushing down prices to make sure that, you know, everyone get in. Look, don't let yourself get in a witch hunt. Just do what you think is the right thing. My personal opinion is I think this market's got way more to give. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong and everything got freaking zero tomorrow, but I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Okay, good. Right, that's the news. That is the charts. Everything else we've done. If you've got any questions, thoughts, opinions, you want us to take a look at a DeFi player, you want us to take a look at whatever, then let me know. Now, for many of you that are in my subscriber group on TikTok, this was one that I called in that subscriber group. It's 700K. It is now sitting at 2.2 million on Vortex. Not financial advice, not paid promotion, nothing. This is just it's just what you get in the alpha. And I've got 2 more, which is going to be good news as well. So yeah, exciting if you ask me. And if you want to support the channel, it's $3 a month. Might go up a little bit to 5, maybe, I don't know. Think about it. One trade, you boom, shankalankin, you're in. And then, yeah, we started to build the Discord out as well. So get your ass in the free Discord. Definitely worth it. You'll start to see that there's some things populating into our Discord channel. So all the latest news is going to start filtering into there. We're actually going to start putting loads of new charts in there, daily charts, daily technical analysis. I'm speaking to a couple of people around the potential of like a newsletter and some other bits and pieces starting to come out. So if you're not in the free Discord, head on over to YouTube, find the link, get in there, right? Definitely worth it. But all the latest news, so you can keep an eye on what's going on with it. All my latest content that's going up, definitely keep your eyes on that, etc., etc., etc. And we broke, we're at 83 members right now. So that's kind of exciting, isn't it? Cash FX, what's going on, buddy? Up, down, who knows, but it'll definitely go up in the long run. Well, definitely go sideways. That's true, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, Cash FX. Definitely good news. Right, I'm not saying anything too bit. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking more and more about it, in fairness. But yeah, don't stress it. It's all good, Obi Joe. It's all good. Right. Rest of the DeFi market looks pretty painful. Not going to lie to you guys. You know, there is some big old corrections out there, but equally, there could be some opportunities that might just throw them your way. But if you've got any coins you want us to take a look at, or you've got anything that's on your mind, let me know, and we can take a look at what's going on in those charts as well. So yeah. I think the honest answer is we'll probably do it to Discord as opposed to YouTube, I think. But there has to be, there was someone that messaged me and they were like, you know, look, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. There has to be value attached to it. If there's not value attached to it, what's the point, right? What's the point? I might as well go on to Cameo and be like, hey, happy birthday to Tim Shea. Tim, it's 2-Bit Crypto here. Hope you're having a great day. And always don't forget, blow the candles out. But make sure you take a breath in before you take a breath out. People aren't going to pay for that, are they? Like, oh, let's get a 2-bit cameo. It's going to be amazing. No. Let's just make sure we got some really solid charts, really good stuff in there that actually you can go in there and go, holy shit, this is that much. How much is this a month? What? This is a bargain. Rather than going there and going, I paid what for this? Waste of time. So yeah. What's your thoughts on Velo 2-bit? Have we looked at Velo before? As in Velodrome Finance, or is it the other one? Velo. I'm assuming you mean Velo as in just like Velo as in the red logo. We've definitely discussed this. We've definitely discussed this one. You think the market will continue down for the weekend? Yeah, I do, Robert Dover. Yeah, I think we're in for a bit more pain personally. Which I did talk about yesterday on the channel. I did say, you know, I've got some capital sat there. I think the market's going to push down a little bit. You got to be mindful. You got to be ready. That's why, you know, we talk about taking profits and holding a little bit of, you know, a little bit of stablecoin. There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, I think the market's going to come down a little bit further. I think by the end of the show, we'll do a couple of maybe some price predictions as to where I get to sort of this weekend. Right. Velo on the longer time frames. I don't know much about the project. I would argue it looks okay. It's on a local low at around what 1393. The question I would ask is, what is it going to do to push back up to the upside? I mean, it's doing crazy volume, 82.3. What I would say though, particularly on the deck side of it, is a lot of that looks manipulated. I'm just going to call it. These are all trading bots that are going off. I would argue these are all volume makers. So yeah, there's definitely something not right. As an example, that's 102,000. It's traded $3.49 million. Like, get the f out of it. I mean, that's one hell of a volume bot. But yeah. The only thing I would say is I just don't see a mass resurgence in old school coins. Maybe I've got it, you know, maybe I'm going to get it wrong, but I just don't see it. I think all the new shiny new coins are what everyone's going to be about. Pepe with 2 more E's. Is that really a coin? Is that really a coin? Is it 2 E's? P-E-P-E-E-E. Or do you just mean Pepe, but you just put 2 more E's on it? Based Pepe, Pepe, or PP? P-E-P-E-E. Yeah, it's not coming up. I don't know why. But yeah, hopefully that's it. I'm really just waiting for, or as close to the bottom as I can get. Yeah, lyrics from Total Africa 37. Nice. No, bro, just Pepe was like shouting it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked at Pepe actually, because I've been buying Pepe and it keeps dipping. So maybe I need to stop buying it. It's at 963. So I'm probably going to buy a bit more actually, because I'm trying to DCA. Now, this might be a bad idea, by the way. It might be a bad idea, but you know, what we're going to look at on Pepe, you're probably going to argue down here, aren't you? 917 maybe. Maybe set a buy order in at 917. Could wick down. We saw that back in June. That could be the low that we could see over this weekend. Maybe. Could go a little bit lower though. Maybe in the 8s. Be pretty painful if it was. What are your thoughts on Crow? I talked about this yesterday. On a discount, you'd argue. Now, I actually think Crow's going to come down a little bit further. And I think, yes, it got great news, as did Chainlink, as did Pipe. Okay, good news, right? Got some really solid news. However, the reality is that exactly what we thought is going to happen. It's pumped and now it's going to dump. Now, the slight positive is the wick candle is showing a little bit more favorable upside. But yeah, I would expect if the market continues to dip, I'd expect what's the other one? God, I'm so bad tonight with maths. I don't know, it's with English. Anyway, overage maybe. I don't know if that's a word, but I would expect over 10, you know, over double digits decline over this weekend if the market continues to push down. So you need to be mindful of that. Hey, Blair, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. JJ, no problems. That's what we're here for. I got some old notes soon, old coins. Nice. What are you guys doing? Old coins are worth more than new ones, silver and gold. That's true. That's true. But what I can tell you is that Panic is not worth more than, you know, I don't know, some cool coin that's just come out. I'm not sure. Not sure. Right. Did you see that? Did you see DEOTC's launch today? I don't know if anyone saw that. Tim, Cheese, you guys were in this one. I don't know what price it's currently at now. Is it this one? There's loads of I think, is it this one? I think it's this one actually. Nope, it's not that one. Oh my God, so many got freaking rugged. Oh, what the hell? It must be one of these top ones. DEOTC. I thought it was that 57131, but maybe not. It's this one. Nope. Nope. Oh, hold on a minute. I'll get it. I don't like I said, I don't know if you guys saw this one. Don't know if you saw it, but yeah, it is up and running. Here we go. Right, I've got it. I don't know what price it's at right now. There we go. The 7-8 range. Just stick it on the list. 786k market cap. So yeah, this one is out, launched I think about 20 past 8. So is DEO to see another call from the no? Obijo, it's not. I did a video on this ages ago. What's your thoughts on Core Chain? Core Chain. I don't really have any, to be honest. Don't really have any. It must be a coin market play. Now, we did get obviously some absolute alpha. We had obviously the one of the key or the lead marketing strategists from Polygon on the channel, and yeah, I think he's going to join us again next week, which is going to be pretty cool. We're going to try and get the CEO of Polygon on as well, which is going to be epic. But yeah, we're going to. So one of the other things I want to do in the Discord, by the way, as well, is to start Core Chain. Is this one? Market cap 11. Okay. Deep core chain AI. Is it that? I don't know. I don't know what this is. The reality is, yeah, we're going to start to get some airdrop stuff in there as well, which would be cool. So we can get some alpha. We'll start to let people know about potential upcoming airdrops as well. Now, remember, risky business airdrops. However, you can get some good ones, then they might be worth it as well. So they'll be in the alpha calls on the Discord as well. So kind of allowing you to get dialed in. Everyone's going to get it eventually, but, you know, it's going to be worth it. Again, it's all about adding some value. The Discord won't be a charge. You know, there'll just be parts of it that I think, anyway, I haven't really looked into it too much, but the more and more I think about it, more and more I think, yeah, that's probably the right thing, in my opinion. Anyway, good. When you know the markets don't even look at your portfolio, I mean, that's absolutely true as well, Obi. You just kind of go, whatever. Whatever. Crow, Tim! We're just looking at that, bro. Got some more pennies, half pennies, 6 pennies, shillings, and kids get peed off when they ask for pocket money. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, unrusted rat. It's hard work. But, again, here's where I look at my portfolio. I look at it and I click on like, I try and see where my buy point is. So how much did I spend to get to where I am and understand the price in which my break even becomes. And then I think to myself, is that above or below where my current position is? If it's above, then I'm going to try and then bring that price down to make sure that my upside is less. I'm not saying that's the greatest strategy in the world. I'm not saying you should constantly do it. But it does work in some cases. And actually, it's not the worst idea in the world. If you can start to bring your average buy price down, this is good news. Robert, thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate you, sir. Love it. Tell me you don't look. I'm still all green, but hard to watch. Yeah, 100% I look at my portfolio. And I'll tell you what I do look at. I look at the daily percentage returns and I look at all-time returns. And then I go down the list of saying what was my average buy price and seeing if I've got the opportunity to make it better. Robert, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it, as always. You're very, very welcome. Did the Polygon guy give you some insight the other day? Yes. We got 4 airdrop projects that definitely have got some bullish potential. I'm just going through them, doing a bit of research on them to make sure that if they make it to the channel, they are worth it. But yeah, some of them look pretty crazy. I was actually messing around on one of the portals the other day. So yeah, we're going to start getting that as well, which would be good. What's your thoughts on Reef? And where are you pulling these coins from? Like, where are they? I'm heard about these. $6.7 million market cap. I mean, it's up 2% of the day. I don't know anything about it, though. But I'll give you my honest opinion, right? I'll give you my honest opinion. Here it is. This is just for you, right? And I'm not being a dickhead when I say this, but sometimes you just got to be honest. There is the Reef token as an all-time mover. There it is on the daily. There it is on the 7-day. Year and all-time. I will open it up to the chat, by the way, to get their views. Equally there on TikTok. I don't know if you want to give your view on what you think of Reef. But my opinion, just FYI, is that light 122333, I would take my money and basically just flush it down the drain before buying that. That's my opinion. Hopefully that's not too harsh. Anyway. There's a fake live of me. Is there really? No freaking way. Someone's live for me. If you're watching this and this isn't my actual channel, then look at the name. The name is up here, by the way. Mine is 2-Bit Crypto UK. No dots, no changes, no nothing. That's me. No dots, hyphen, spaces. And again, ask, if you're watching this, ask them to wave. Type in the chat wave. Because I won't freaking wave. You know what I mean? I won't freaking wave. I just realized that if they're watching that, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, man. This sort of review is so common from 2-Bit. Reef is dead. Yeah, Reef looks pants. But yeah, no dramas. Like, I can't believe there's a fake live stream of me. That's wild. I mean, that is actually wild. You got to be careful, though. Again, I would always just recommend people join the Discord and it's fine. 2-Bit, please, can you give us a wave? It's not waving on TikTok. Anyway, stop messing about. Right. Let's keep an eye on what's going on here. Bitcoin's still pushing down. So yeah, expect that range to come into play. Not saying you should probably stable coin a little bit, but it might be not. But I actually did think about maybe stabling up some ETH. Not like crazy stuff. I did actually stable coin about 5Gs the other day of investor money. Not investment money, but something else. So yeah, maybe that might be something I do. I don't know. I might look at maybe just putting a little bit of a, because ETH's obviously pretty high up from where we've been. You know, maybe take a couple of ETH, if I had it as an example. I'm not saying I do, by the way, but if I had a couple of ETH, maybe put it into stable coin, sit tight, see what happens. If we're going to retest 105, You'd argue we could even go a little bit lower if we get to that point. And you stable up at 4.3 on a couple of ETH. You're going to get a great buy opportunity when it drops down there, aren't you? You could even see a 4,000 E3 test, maybe. We need the Clarity Act signed as a bill. Yeah, when does that come in? Like mid-September? Late September, something like that, I think it is. So, yeah, that could be a strategy. I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but, you know, you definitely don't want to be full clipping your entire portfolio into stablecoin. Likewise, you know, it's always worthwhile just kind of being ready. So, all day traders, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it, my man. Yeah, 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗶𝗃 says, yeah, I think we're all in agreement that Reef looked awful. I bet Holmes lied in bed and have multiple monitors with multiple videos of 2-bit running out at the same time. He can just ring me though, can't he? He can just ring me and we can just chat. It's fine. Curtis with a look at Curtis's comment, everybody. Not the normal Curtis, by the way. I think this is a new Curtis, but absolute value. But I assume you're talking about the market as opposed to me. I mean, maybe you are talking about me. I don't know, but then I look at TikTok. I'm not even saying that name, by the way. But good evening. What's going on to you, 008? I'm not talking about what Curtis just put over there. Then reading your name out. Brilliant. Brilliant. Right. Okay. If you've got any coins, questions, thoughts, opinions, we've got about 10, 15 minutes left on the show. So if you do have any thoughts, then let me know. I know September is usually a low, but it feels like it might surprise us with the news. Maybe. I mean, maybe September comes in to be bullish. It would be a definite buck of the trend, and I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but I think what we could do with not doing is having like an absolute freaking disaster. The debate is, what do you think rate cuts look like? I still think people are on the fence a little bit. I still think people haven't fully priced in rate cuts, albeit we are very bullish on it, very optimistic. Bear in mind, we've wiped out loads of the gains from Jerome Powell's speech. I'm still in a world where I don't believe we are fully priced in on rate cuts. Again, think about how that sort of plays out. And I think, you know, could we therefore see that very much play into September? Probably. HBAR, man, HBAR, I am getting more and more bullish on HBAR. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. The whole DEX narrative is starting to push a little bit more as well. So I think HBAR is undervalued. I've been talking about this along with Algorand, by the way. Along with Algorand, I think they're undervalued. So, yeah, I think there's just a ton of stuff coming to it. They're building out, and ETFs, institutional buying. I mean, God, we could even see an ISO treasury company. I mean, imagine that. XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algo, XDC. I mean, that would be a freaking outstanding ETF, wouldn't it? But, yeah, watch out. I think, you know, you've got, is it like memecoins finance or something that's going over there? Hold on, let me bring it up. Let me just bring it up because, yeah, I do like HBAR. It's actually my playlist of projects to hold 1,000 coins of because I think it's going to do very, very well, actually. Very, very well. So, and yeah. Oh, can you not bring... Oh, hold on a minute. It would be... there it is. Yeah. So, $114 million. But look at this. Their DEX volume is at now $10 million. So, you know, we're starting to see a little bit more on DEX, which is good news. And I think as you start to see this, here's where we are on the month. So you can start to see here, this is DEX volume. Yeah, we've seen some spikes coming in as price moves, but look, definitely starting to see an uptrend when it comes to DEX volume on HBAR, which I think is important, by the way. I do actually think it's important. Likewise, you're starting to see this positive move on chain fees as well. So it's starting to show a very strong ecosystem. And look, liquid staking is keeping people locked in, and the DEX. Look at that versus Cardano as an example. Like, it's already starting to get... In fact, let's just do it as a bit of a kind of just shits and giggles kind of thing. So, it has... This is where you sort of go, well, maybe Cardano's either pants or you allow yourself, you know, Hedera may be good. But, you know, look, the reality is it doubles the stablecoin market cap of Cardano. It absolutely trounces all over its DEX volume over the last 24 hours. Its chain fees are less on Cardano. So you'd argue that HBAR is a growing ecosystem, and I think it's important. And then you look at some of the top protocols on Cardano. It's not even funny. Lending, DEX, CDP, and again another DEX. You're like, nah, okay, fine. HBAR XLM. Now that's a great question. That is a great question, actually. Buy XRP, bro. I've been buying XRP. I bought XRP at like 35 cents. Don't you stress yourself. I'm good on XRP right now. That is a good question, you know. I think I would go HBAR because it's got more in terms of the build out and the ecosystem, whereas I think XLM is designed for a very specific type of customer. And I think, look, it'll do very well. It'll obviously move with XRP, but I think HBAR could pivot and go in a different direction. I think that's kind of, I think that could be good news, in my opinion, by the way. Not financial advice, obviously. HBAR to $1 easy. Yeah, we kind of touched on where HBAR could go, and I think that could be, you know, we definitely talked about that, and maybe even a bit higher as well. But again, as always, never financial advice. What's your largest hold to bet? Right now is Ethereum. Right now. The question probably is, what's your largest hold and why is it your largest hold? Which I've said a number of times. I know like why Ethereum is my largest hold. Buy XRP, my crow bag is 230%. Let's get it, Marky Mark. What's going on, pal? Good to see you. It's been a minute. But Cardano has SNEC. Cardano does have SNEC. And I'm sure SNEC's going to do very, very well. Just not the minute. It actually is in my watch list. Now, if you haven't seen the 10x altcoins for September, you should definitely go and watch that. There's a number of the coins in here. BELDEX, by the way, I put that one in there. Look at that. It's 8% up in the last 7 days. And you're still not freaking subscribed to this channel. What the hell? BELDEX, very bullish on BELDEX. You should look at that coin. Story was another one that I called on that list. Worth your time, in my opinion, to, well, either be subscribed or watch this channel. It's dead easy. I still watch all your videos, Marky Mark. Hey, Mark, thank you so much. You're a legend. I've got XLM on HBAR, so I'm not worried. I mean, tomorrow, Pete, that's the way to do it. This fall will only make us come back stronger. Yeah, I think so, Harvey. The macro is still very optimistic, and I think that's what we need to look out for. Yeah, we've seen a pretty old dumperino. The problem we need a reversal. We're just not looking like we're getting one right now. Even if you go right down to the 15-minute, we're still bearish on the 15-minute, still bearish on the 30-minute, still bearish on the hour. You know, we are struggling. On the 1 minute, we have a little bit of respite. Outside of that, it's bear time, baby, unfortunately, and that's just life. That is just life. So, you know, what goes down eventually goes back up again, normally. Just it's a matter of time. My opinion, anyway. My opinion. I've got, you'll never be more bullish than the top commenter here, 37 Hopper. There you go. Stream Elements coming in fresh right now. Do you just like the fact that Stream Elements just gives you a little bit of a boost if you need it? What's the RSI? What, on the daily? So I don't really track RSI. I track an amalgamated RSI with MACD trend data. And right now it's at 37, which is super bearish. Oh, it's bad. Anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. My opinion. Selmo! Enjoy the weekend. Have a happy holidays. Thanks so much. So you guys, is it Monday, your Labor Day? So you guys now like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just like chilling out on the lake. XRP predictions, $8 bear, 10 average, 12.50 beyond, maybe $20 super bullish. Is the bull market over? No. What, go on? No, it's not. It's not. It's just getting started. I mean, I don't know if it is or not, but I mean, it's definitely not over. Just spreading the love, Pete. That's thanks to the kids carry these days when you're guys, get out of here. Get out of here. Hi. How long do you think this bear market? It's not bear market. What, go on? It's not bear market. It's a correction. Don't stress it. It's 1 day. This is the thing to understand, right? I've said this a couple of times. I want you to kind of understand why this is important, right? Bull markets don't finish on bearish sentiment, right? They don't. In every single case, in the past 15 years, 2017, 2021, 2013, 2009, whatever it were, right? They don't finish on bearish sentiment. It's not like all of a sudden the markets go, yeah, well, okay, Bitcoin's done, I'm out of here. They finish on overhyped, absolute insanity. That's when bull markets finish. When people are going, oh my God, like people that you've not spoken to for ages, and you see them and they go, oh, I remember you telling me about Bitcoin like 10 years ago. And you're like, oh yeah. And they're like, oh my God, let me tell you about my Bitcoin. It is unbelievable. I bought it $135,000. It's $138,000. Can't believe you didn't tell me more about Bitcoin. You're like, all right, cool. And then the week after, they're like, Bitcoin's a scam. I can't believe you told me about it. That's when, that's bull markets. They don't finish on boring bear market vibes. They don't. Burn, thank you so much. What's going on, buddy? Welcome. Everyone drop Crypto Vern a follow, by the way. He is a co-host I do a show on here every Wednesday with. Don't forget, tune in to us. It's easy to peasy. 5:30 Eastern. We don't mess about. Double stream on a Wednesday. When my mum asks how long did you invest in crypto, that's why the bull market is up. That's true. Bonk's on the move, mate. Bonk is on the move. Let's go. Look at this. Honest, not. It's gone red. Oh, come on, Bonk. It's down 1.4%. I mean, look, I hold Bonk. I still think Bonk's going to do very, very well. I hope. They need to get their decks cracking a little bit, though, don't they? If we're honest, they need to start getting Bonk fun moving again. Forget pump fun. Start getting Bonk fun moving. That's good news, all right? That's good news. But yeah, I like Bonk. He's got a big ecosystem that sits behind it. I think the team have done a good job with it as well. So yeah, my opinion, good news. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, Curtis. I mean, you've got to believe that's a marketing stunt rather than being absolutely true. I think it's nonsense. Mama said, "Do you do memes? Day trading? Not really. Not really. I do meme coins. Yeah, I do meme coins. I like to invest in meme coins. I do some content about meme coins. So yeah, definitely worthwhile. We talked about some meme coins earlier on, actually. Called a meme coin in my subscriber group, $3 a month. That's all it's going to cost you. And it's already at, I mean, it's dipping now a little bit by the looks of it. Bit of selling, but yeah, I mean, this was 750K when I called it, and it went to what did it go to actually? Holy shit, 3.4 million. Decent. Right now, Mohammed, it's $3 on TikTok. But it's not trades. Let me just be clear about it. It's not trades, by the way. I don't think right now, I don't think I could analyze a market to give people true sentiment. I just don't think I can. And equally, therefore, I think if you're going to pay for a service, you should be paying to be rewarded with value. And if you can't offer value, you shouldn't do it. What we do here on TikTok is anything that is of interest, I'll post a video on here to the subscribers. It's $3 a month. I'm just waiting for Altseason now. Yeah, look. I am in the belief that Altseason's here. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Kasang, what's going on? Thank you so much. We will probably we're definitely going to build the Discord out. I've made a decision, by the way. I've made the decision. We're definitely going to build the Discord out, and the Discord is going to become the place to be. Let me tell you. How do people get 100x coins and make life-changing money? How? Luck or insider information. That's the honest answer. Like, look at Nancy Pelosi. Like, Nancy Pelosi is the best example of this. Do you think Nancy Pelosi can outtrade every single hedge fund in the US by over a margin of 70%? No, she just knows what's going to happen with legislation and laws. So half the time, and equally I would say this, Mohammed, as well, this is probably going to be the best piece of advice you ever hear, right? You ever hear, I think. It's a good piece of advice to have in your mind. Do not search for 100x cryptocurrency. Don't do it, because you won't find it, right? Instead, spend the time understanding the market, being involved in the market, getting into live streams, connecting with certain influencers, certain groups. As an example, I am now connected with one of the biggest companies that build meme coins that then people go and run. As an example, and if anyone knows Saitama, by the way, that's how that happened. They had a team that built it and a team that run it. I've managed to connect with a very good team that build meme coins. They build the whole concept, build the contract, build everything, and then they send it to a team to run. You've got to keep an eye on what those guys are doing. Watch the blockchain. Learn to read the blockchain. Don't go chasing 1000x gains. Equally, and this is just my opinion, by the way, and it's not financial advice, don't go subscribing to stupid Discords, Telegrams, Patreon groups that are charging you like $100 a month, $500. I mean, some of them are a disgrace. I mean, literally a disgrace. And they should be ashamed of themselves that they even can charge that amount of money. It is an absolute shambles. So, in my opinion, that's way more valuable than searching for 100x coin, because you won't find it. That's just my opinion, by the way. I could be wrong. Let me show you something dead quick. I don't know if I can do this, by the way, but let me just show you something. Here it is. Here it is. I think, is this going to cover the name of this individual? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Okay, maybe I kind of not draw attention to it. So, for example, look at this. This is $100 a month to join this particular group. What do you get? High-value crypto alpha trade signals and TA from the team of researchers, exclusive participations, entry to venture capital groups at discounting projects, receive pre-sale alerts, get notified of portfolio buy and sell moves, right? I mean, it's freaking crazy. It's $100 a month. It's $800 a fucking year. Are these kidding me? It can't be that good. Maybe it is. Maybe this is where I'm going wrong. I don't know. Yeah, Levi charges $125 a month. And do you know the worst thing about it, right? The worst thing about it, I'm going to get on my soapbox in a minute. In fact, I'm going to do this, guy. I will get off my soapbox. Do you know the worst part about it is? It is all going to be marketing. Like, that's life, right? That's life. So many of these people don't give a flying about anything. They're just like, oh, yeah, 100. I mean, imagine 100. What would that look like? Hold on a minute. Let me just do some freaking maths here. How many have we got in our Discord? Like 85 people. Let's say those 85 people pay $125 a month. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. Discord. The 2-bit Discord. Officially, it's on sale. It's $300 a month. I'm kidding. 420, what's going on, buddy? Some groups do give 100x signals. Yeah, maybe. And if they do, great. If they do, brilliant. And, you know, hopefully you can ride them. Let me ask you this. If you are paying to be in an alpha group, how many 100x's have you actually got from those alpha groups? If not, then, I don't know what else to say. But yeah. I know someone who got in a 300x coin. Okay. Look, they're not impossible to get into. You just have to find out. You just got to find the right ones. I mean, I don't want to play top trumps, but yeah, I've had a couple of like 100x coins. The trouble is 100x coins are high risk. So you then tend to not, if you're putting like 10 G's in a 100x coin, you're out of your mind. I mean, I got Trump meme coin at $13, sold it at like 85. What's that? 8x? I mean, that was a crazy play. Taking advantage of desperate people. Yeah, exactly. $100 stock gibberish. I mean, that's true. Even if you trade 100x, you shouldn't ever enter the leverage. Yeah, I mean, 100x leverage is insane. By the time you get 100x notification and place your trade, you enter the trade far too late. Exactly. You've got to be insider. You've got to be on the case. You've got to know what's going on. Equally, you've got to be plugged into these marketing companies. Like literally, there's a coin that that I was looking at that by the time it's hit X, by the way, it's too late. Like it's too late. You've got to even be involved in the team, understand the people that are building it, and then at the same time, and by the way, do you know, I need to get off my soapbox here, and I promise I'm going to do it in a minute. But do you know why they charge different rates in Discord channels? So they'll go, hey, here's my Discord channel, right? And it's $100 a month. And you're like, oh my God, this is great. But if you want the alpha Discord channel, well, that's $300 a month. And literally all you're going to do is tell this group once first, and then tell this other group the second time. I mean, Jesus Christ, what's all about? But anyway, and a 20x, let the trade go in your favor, then increase. I mean, that's true as well. Levi's apparently creating a copy trade. Good on him. Even if, that's my view. Just need to be friends with someone inside the market. There you go, calamari. There you know. That's important. Right. Ozita says, please, my coach. You don't need a coach. Even those people are scammers. You don't need any of that. Honestly, let me tell you, I got into this market in 2017. The best coaches, I'm going to show TikTok. I'm going to show you who the best coaches are, right? Here come the best coaches. Here they are. There they are. Look. Hold on a minute. There. Look. Right. These are the best coaches. All of these people here. This is the YouTube chat right now. This is all of the best coaches out there. Why? Because if you've got a community of people that are all looking at the same thing, you get to a better result. All of these people here, look, all of these chats, these are all good people. All you got to do is follow the right people. That's my opinion. Anyway, it's 12 minutes past 10. Holy shit, we've been going live for like, God, I don't even know how long now. An hour and 15 minutes. Where did that time go? But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. in the UK. If you haven't already joined our totally free Discord, definitely go over to YouTube, find the link. Dead easy, right? Super easy. I don't know if I can I name it or not? I need to have a look at this properly. Whoever's like super good at Discord, let me know. Anyway, definitely get involved in that. We've got some crazy stuff starting to build out in there. It's going to be great. And I'm very much, thanks to Holmes, I am very much focused on making sure that Discord becomes a absolute great place to be in. It's starting to get exciting, nearly 100 people, which is good news. And then obviously, if you want to support me here on TikTok, you can subscribe to the channel. It's $3 a month. It's literally nothing. And yeah, I'm not saying it's the craziest of things in the world, but you can support me if you want. Never expected. And as always, never, ever financial advice here on the channel. We're just here talking about crypto every single night, hopefully keeping you dialed into this market. So, with that being said, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Oh, no, I won't. It's Saturday. I hate Saturdays. I don't live stream on a Saturday. I hate Saturdays. Anyway, we'll be back Sunday. Unless anything changes. Right. Catch you guys on the flip side.